it's Jenna with ClickReport, and I'm going to walk you through our academic file review tool. Okay, so for our academic file review tool, we have both a tool and a worksheet. And you can see that when I click this worksheet, a Word document will download for me. I'm just going to open this up and show you kind of what this looks like. Once I click Enable Edit, from that point, I can print this and use it however I want to. This is totally optional. You definitely do not need to use this worksheet in order to use the tool. But for some people, this just kind of helps organize the information. And when they get to the actual reporting part, it makes that just that much faster. And then in other instances, there's times when I have had to go down to the district office and pull a file, and maybe I don't want to take that file with me, and I would prefer to just use this worksheet to jot down all the information and then use a tool when I'm ready for that step. Okay, so this is the worksheet. You can use this at your disposal. And now I'm going to show you the actual tool. I click into it, and here it is. And for this one, you're first going to put in your information at the top. And I'm just gonna make up, I don't know if my date's gonna be accurate for a 5th grader. Okay, and then you'll put in your school, so maybe Northwest. Okay, and then you'll notice that this blue box has all these different check boxes as far as what you can include in your review. And this is because I know that there's a lot of instances where, as much as we would love to have all the information, sometimes you just don't have it. Either you have a transfer student, or there's a range of different reasons why we just don't always have all the information. So I made it optional as far as what you can report in your review here. Okay, so once you check these boxes, more things will populate into the page, and then you'll answer the different questions. So if this is an initial referral, you'll select initial and put the date that the initial referral began. If it's a reevaluation review, you'll put the initial eligibility date. You might have to go back, hopefully for a reeval, 3 years or so. And then the disability category. And then any IEP services that the student has on their IEP. So if they're being served, for reading, writing, PT, speech, anything, anything that's on here, you'll go ahead and click and that'll populate into your narrative where that student has been served. Okay. And then let's go down to historical grades. And for this section, you notice that we put in that the grade was 5th grade. And you'll see that everything under that populates into grades. And if you only want to report maybe 1 year back, when you click this 1 year button, it's only going to do the year prior to whatever year you've selected at the top. So this will say 4th. And then you want to click here for subjects to include within your review. And you'll notice that they'll populate over for you. So whichever ones you want to include, you'll click those over, and then you'll make your selection for what the grades actually were. And then you can take this table by clicking the copy table button. I'm just going to show you real quick. Once you paste this over, you can change it in any way that you need to. So if you need to customize this in any way, you totally can just by moving this over. All right. And then you'll also make your selections here for best description for performance in reading and math and writing. And whatever you select in this area will populate over to your review. And then you can select whether or not the student was retained. You can see that if I select yes, it'll say the grade. And then from here, let's go on to our next section, absences and tardies. And you don't have to click these like I'm doing it one by one, just to kind of keep the page cleaner while I'm explaining. But you can absolutely click all of them and then go down the page, which is probably what you would do if you were actually writing your review. Okay, so absences and tardies. This is kind of going to operate the same way. This table, it's going to put everything in there, and then if you want to change it, you can select, how far you want to go back. And these do not populate into the narrative that you're going to generate. These are just tables that can accompany your review. So you can also totally ignore these table parts if you want to. If you just want the narrative, just skip that all together. And then we'll make our selection. Does student have a history of absences? Yes. History of tardies? Yes. And of course, this selection will change what your narrative says. And now let's go up to end of grade testing. Same thing here as the other tables. You know, if we want to go 1 year back and then include these different things in the reviews. Once you copy this table and paste it over, you can edit this in any way you need. And then also, let's say in my states, it's an EOG, so that's going to populate into this table. And then you'll make these selections as far as based on end of grade testing. Does the student have a history of reading struggles? Yes, no, no. So, you know, whatever makes sense for your specific case. And then discipline records. And same thing with the discipline records. This one's really impactful as far as like organizing the information. I usually always use this table just because it really helps represent what we're seeing in school. Okay, and you know, you'll select from these drop downs if the student has a history of disciplinary action, and of course that will change what you see in the narrative. And now our last section is going to be vision and hearing. And this section, you are going to write or make a selection based on if the student wears glasses, do they have hearing aids, select the date of the last vision screening, and the result. Same thing here, date of the last vision screening and the result. And then we're going to go ahead and click Generate Review. And when we scroll up to our review, you can see that every single thing that we selected as far as what we wanted to include in our review and then the selections we made within each section are going to populate over to our narrative. So yeah, that is our academic file review. I hope this helps with your academic file review, and I hope this helps save you time. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching.